You're just favoring the rich. You know, Republicans love to favor the rich and they tax the poor. Let's just think about that for just a second. What is one thing that the government is good at? Inefficiency and wasting money. Who do you think would be better at solving for example, the housing problem that we have here? The government or a private business? Should we have the government make cheap housing, or should we allow businesses to give high-paying jobs so that people can afford to buy these houses? Micron is building a $15 billion semiconductor fabrication plant here in Boise, Idaho, and is probably not going to pay any property taxes on it. You might think that that's unfair, but I happen to think that it's not a bad idea. Let me explain why in this video. Now, Micron started as a small company, 4 people in the basement of a dentist's office in 1978. Today, there's over 40,000 employees that work for Micron in 17 different countries across the world. They have over 50,000 patents, and they help to create things like artificial intelligence and autonomous vehicles. Now, in 2008, the Idaho State Legislature passed a law that said any company that invests $1 billion or more in the state of Idaho will get their property tax value capped at $400 million forever. Now, they passed that law to try and lure a company over to Idaho Falls to build a uranium enrichment plant there. Now, that company never ended up coming to Idaho, but Micron heard about the law, and so they ended up investing $1 billion in Idaho over the next 7 years. So since 2011, Micron has had its property tax value capped at $400 million, and that cap goes on forever. So now they're planning on building a manufacturing plant that will have over 600,000 square feet of clean room space, and it's going to be the largest facility of its type in the United States. So if they build this $15 billion fabrication plant, which the city's already approved it, they've already broken ground on it, then they won't pay any property taxes on that building forever unless the laws change. Now, right now, Micron's property is valued at around $2 billion. I saw a study that in 2019, it was valued at $1.86 billion. So they're probably at around $2 billion right now. So because they're only paying property tax on a value of $400 million, they're paying about 23% of what they should be paying if they were taxed on the full value of their property. So in 2020, for example, they only paid $4.75 million in property taxes. So with another $15 billion expansion, they're not going to pay another dime of property tax. Now, initially, that doesn't sound very fair. But as I was thinking about it, I think that it probably is. And let me explain why. Number one, Micron is going to provide an additional 2,000 jobs for people living here in the Treasure Valley. Now, currently, Micron is tied or just behind the largest employer of the Treasure Valley. That'd be St. Luke's Medical Center. They have about 6,000 to 7,000 employees here in the Boise area in the Treasure Valley. Micron has about that number, 6,000 to 7,000 employees here in Boise. So this fab plant will add about 2,000 jobs to the Treasure Valley, which will increase their employee count by about 50%. And these are highly skilled, high-paying jobs. These are engineers. So in total, some studies have shown that this $15 billion addition, will add about 17,000 jobs across America. So this expansion is going to be really good for the Treasure Valley when it comes to jobs. But number two, because they need highly skilled workers for these jobs, Micron has said that they are going to invest in K-12 STEM education. They need people with STEM backgrounds, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And so they have planned to invest in K-12 STEM education, and they're also partnering with the College of Idaho to teach more engineering technology. So really, this expansion of $15 billion is going to be really a big boon for the Treasure Valley when it comes to engineering. Hey, if you're liking this video so far, hit the like button so that this video can go out to more people like you. Thanks. And then number three, they're also planning on opening a world-class childcare facility. which is going to be operated by the Treasure Valley YMCA. This not only is going to help alleviate the already strained childcare situation that we have here in the Treasure Valley, but it's just going to create more jobs as well, because you have to have caretakers to work in these childcare facilities. So yes, give them all the incentives that they need to build their manufacturing plant here in the Boise area. Now, it's going to take over a decade to build. They've broken ground on it, but they haven't actually started building. That was a symbolic groundbreaking. They're expected to start building in 2025, but they don't have their building permits yet. And get this. In order to get the building permits, they're probably going to get some additional incentives from the city. Usually, a building permit fee is around 1% of the investment project in Boise. So for a $15 billion project, a 1% building fee comes out to $150 million in building fees alone. Now, I had to check that number several times because it blew my mind, but that's 1% of $15 billion. Now, here's an interesting fact. If you add up all of the permit values for the entire city from 2012 to 2021, that adds up to a total of $8.13 billion. In other words, in the 10 years from 2012 to 2021, the city of Boise only built $8.13 billion worth of buildings. This project alone would double that. So Micron's project is a huge project, and they're going to get a tax break or a break on building permit fees. Even the mayor has said that the city's permit system is not designed for such a huge investment, so they're going to get a huge break on that as well. Now, the Democratic argument is going to be, you're just favoring the rich. You know, Republicans love to favor the rich and they tax the poor. Let's just think about that for just a second. What is one thing that the government is good at? Inefficiency and wasting money. Give the government more money and they're sure to waste it and be inefficient with it. They're not very good at solving problems. So I say let private businesses solve the problems that we have. Who do you think would be better at solving for example, the housing problem that we have here? The government or a private business? Should we have the government make cheap housing, or should we allow businesses to give high-paying jobs so that people can afford to buy these houses? I think private business does a better job 100% of the time, but also think about who would benefit from this. We're going to need more restaurants in the area because the people that will be working at Micron are going to need places to eat. We're going to need houses for these people. We're going to need more people to build houses for these people. We're going to need more people to bring the material to build the houses for these people who will be working at Micron. It's also going to expand the entertainment industry. These people are going to need places to go to have fun, to eat dinner, to hang out for the evening. And you're going to have people that work in the entertainment business. When a huge business like this comes to town, many people benefit from this. And so, yes, I say give Micron all of the incentives that they need. Let them pay something, obviously, but give them all the incentives that they need in order to expand their investment here in Boise, because that is only going to benefit all of us. Because as the saying goes, a rising tide lifts all the boats. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to stay current with the latest in the Boise housing market and everything else related to living here in the Treasure Valley, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos.